G'day Flex fam, welcome back to the channel. I am Flex Success Coach Big Nick, and today I want to talk to you about carbohydrate loading. Carbohydrate loading is simply a method that can be used to ensure your body has enough available energy in the form of glycogen to perform a usually athletic endeavor. For this reason, carb loading isn't something that you use regularly and is generally reserved for very long training sessions and competition. The idea behind carb loading is that you consume enough carbohydrates to completely saturate all of your muscle glycogen stores so that you have the maximum possible amount of energy available. So when it comes to carbohydrate loading, what's important to know? 1. Glycogen supercompensation can be achieved without prior depletion. 2. Full glycogen stores can be achieved by 1 day of very high carbohydrate intakes, around about 10 grams of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight. Creatine supplementation can potentially augment glycogen supercompensation, and you'll gain weight. Every gram of carbohydrate you store will also store 2 to 3 grams of water. Creatine may also have subsequent water retention. So what does this mean? Well, to put it simply, the day before an event, you should consume up to 10 grams of carbohydrates for every kilo of body weight. This means that a 70 kilo person would consume 700 grams of carbohydrates throughout the day before an event. Or if you're a big fella like me, it'd be more like 1100 grams of carbohydrates. Additionally, you should consume close to your usual amount of protein and try and avoid fats, as the higher amount of carbohydrates will almost definitely take you beyond your maintenance calories. High fiber foods may make it difficult to hit your carbohydrate target, so you may want to go for low or no fiber foods. This is the sort of time you may want to look at like lollies or sweets or cordials, Powerades, that sort of thing. Try and stick to foods you've already been habitually consuming to avoid any gastric stress. As higher carbohydrates draws more water into the muscles, you may want to consider increasing your hydration levels. 1 to 4 hours before the event, you want 1 to 4 grams of carbohydrate per kilo of body weight. This means that someone who's 70 kilos wants 70 to, quick math, 280 grams of carbohydrate within that period. Someone who's closer to my weight, I'm 110 kilos, so I want 110 to 440 grams of carbohydrate prior to the event. Try and avoid fats and fiber, as these things can slow down the digestion of those carbs, and you want them in quickly. And try and consume just a normal amount of protein. Don't try and have it all before the event. Don't try and have it all after the event. Stick to foods that you normally consume before training or competing. The last thing you want to do is change up your carbohydrate source and be running a road marathon and it looks like you've run a Tough Mudder. Consuming carbohydrates during the event may be useful depending on your personal preference and the length of the event. This table shows some evidence-based carbohydrate strategies based on the duration of the event. These amounts of carbohydrates can be difficult to digest and may require some training of the gut. This can be achieved by gradually building up your chosen carbohydrate event strategy for some longer, more intense training sessions before the event. As you can see, only some events warrant carb loading. If you're really serious about your performance and recovery, then sure, follow the table that I just showed you. However, if weight loss is your main goal and the half marathon or the 10K or the Tough Mudder or whatever it is just an additional goal that's helping you with your weight loss, maybe consider using a different tier. For example, if your event lasts 2 to 3 hours, you might want to follow the carbohydrate strategy for an event that lasts 1 to 2 hours. And this will allow you to potentially stay in a calorie deficit. This table, boom. This table shows some evidence-based carbohydrate strategies based on the